You are used, ignored, or betrayed, despite your kindness, loyalty, and good intentions. The problem is not in the world, the problem is in the dog within you. Machiavelli did not write for dogs, he wrote for wolves. In this video, we will help you kill the obedient dog inside and awaken the ruthless, respected, and untouchable wolf you were born to be. Look at yourself not in the mirror, but in your habits. You apologize before you speak. You wait for permission to act. You find comfort in being loved, approved, and accepted. You have been taught to behave, but not like a warrior, rather like a dog. You wear your obedience as a badge of honor. You call it kindness, honesty, loyalty. But understand, in the real world, in the world of power, these qualities mean nothing if they are not backed by strength. Niccolò Machiavelli warned that to survive among people who lie, deceive, manipulate, and betray, you must become what they fear, not what they like. A dog does not inspire fear. A dog is domesticated. A dog wags its tail while its owner sharpens a knife. A dog protects those who would sell it for coins. A dog is loyal even to those who do not feed it. This is not virtue. This is slavery. Do you think your loyalty protects you? Do you think kindness earns respect? Do you believe that being a good person in the room will keep you safe? Let Machiavelli speak to you from the grave. The world does not protect the obedient. The world uses them. The world adorns them with praise while stabbing them in the back. You are not born to beg. You are not born to be led on a leash. Inside you, there is something older, something untamed. A hunger that has been subdued by teachers, preachers, parents, and false philosophies. They gave you bones to chew on, distractions to pursue, rules to obey. But they never warned you about the wolves. They never told you that if you walk like a dog in a forest full of wolves, you will be mercilessly consumed. Because a wolf does not seek approval, a wolf does not wait for instructions. A wolf observes and then strikes. A wolf endures solitude but not slavery, and here you are. You wonder why people walk over you, why your loyalty is not returned, why your honesty is met with betrayal. Why do they laugh behind your back even when you offer your heart? It is not because you are weak. It is because you behave weakly, because you act like a dog, wagging your tail in a world ruled by predators. And remember, even the best dogs are put to sleep when they are no longer needed. A person who wants to survive in betrayal, treachery, and manipulation must learn this first lesson. You do not win by being loved. You win by being respected, and respect is earned not through obedience, but through strength, strategy, and silence. A wolf does not bark to be heard. It moves in silence, and when it strikes, the world remembers it. Ask yourself, will your enemies fear your silence, or do they simply dismiss you with a smile? When you enter a room, do people start fidgeting in their seats, or do they see you as a harmless creature craving approval? If you want to become greater, to become invulnerable and hardened, Machiavelli gives you the first instruction. Kill the animal within you, not tomorrow when it will be safe, but right now, because the world does not wait for you to grow fangs. It sharpens its own. You were taught to be kind, to forgive, to turn the other cheek. You were praised for your softness, not because you were respected, but because it made you convenient, easily defeated, easily controlled, a good person who understands. One who gives second, third, and fourth chances. But look at the outcome. Where has your kindness led you? Machiavelli did not trust kindness, not because it lacks value, but because it lacks protection. Because when kindness stands alone, it does not save, it destroys. A good person without strength is not a hero, but a victim, ready for slaughter. The world is not a meadow. It is not fair, and it does not wait to reward your good intentions. You think you will earn respect by letting go of grievances, by remaining silent when you are wronged, by giving more than you receive. No, you teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. And every time your kindness is not backed by strength, it becomes permission. Permission to use you, to lie to you, to betray you, and to sleep soundly at night. In modern consciousness, there is a buried belief that being good is enough, that honesty, loyalty, and kindness will ensure your safety. What if you are sincere enough, and people will love you, protect you, elevate you? But Machiavelli shatters this illusion. He knew the truth that most people fear to speak aloud, that kindness without the capacity for violence is weakness, that a gentle heart, if given too freely, attracts predators, that a person who never shows their teeth becomes prey, not a principle. They say kindness is a virtue, but Machiavelli would ask, a virtue for whom? Is it a virtue if it leaves you poor, silent, exhausted, and unnoticed? Is it a virtue if it keeps you in chains while others feast at your table? You must understand that a gentle heart works only when others fear your wrath. Forgiveness matters only when you have the power to destroy, but you choose not to. But you forgive because you fear losing people, fear conflict, fear appearing cruel, so you let go again and again, and they learn. They learn that you do not bite. They learn that you do not respond. They learn that your kindness is not a choice, but a condition, a leash, submission disguised as virtue. That is why you go unnoticed. That is why betrayal finds you time and time again. Because the world does not fear your kindness, it exploits it. Machiavelli spoke of the lion and the fox, but it is often overlooked that even the streets have teeth. Even a lion, when it sleeps, must remain dangerous. You cannot afford to be the only good person. You must be someone capable of cruelty, but choose not to be out of strategy, not fear. There is a time for forgiveness, but only if it serves a higher purpose. There is a time for generosity, but only when it strengthens your position. There is a time to be gentle, but only as a mask, never as a state of soul. Power does not heed sermons. It does not bow to kindness. It does not respect weakness. If you wish to walk alongside power, your kindness must be sharp. It must be a weapon, not a weakness. A dog shows its belly to its owner, while a wolf bares its fangs even in silence. If you are not dangerous, your kindness means nothing. It is not nobility nor bravery. It is merely an invitation, a signal that says, "Come closer, I will not bite." You want to be loved. You crave their approval. You seek the applause of recognition, the warm embrace of acceptance. But ask yourself, where has love ever kept a person in power? You think love protects you, but love is a feeling, and feelings change. They do not change when your resources are drained. They do not change when your influence wanes. They do not change when you take a single wrong step. As Machiavelli said, it is safer to be feared than loved. Not because fear is base, not because it is inhumane, but because it is reliable. It is structured. Fear is rooted in the bones, while love floats in the air, and that which floats disappears. A person who builds their kingdom on love must constantly serve the emotions of others. They must submit to every whim. They must please. They must explain. But one who is feared commands in silence. They are obeyed without discussion. They are respected even in their absence. People betray those they love when it serves their interests. But they hesitate before betraying those they fear, because they fear the consequences. They are calculating, they deliberate, and in that pause, power survives. Love makes you equal to them. Fear keeps you above. They will smile at those they love, but they will kneel before those they fear. You think leadership is about being loved. You think influence is about charm. That is what weak people tell themselves to sleep peacefully, while wolves silently ascend to the throne. You chase love because you think it brings safety, but love makes you dependent. You choose your words to avoid offense. You compromise your standards to maintain connection. You become predictable, and predictable people are the first to be deceived. Look at history. Look at kings, rulers, generals. Those who relied on affection fell. People turned against them at the first sign of weakness. But those who ruled through strength, through discipline, through consequences, held onto their crowns for much longer. Machiavelli never said that cruelty is the goal. No. He said that fear must be calculated, not reckless. A person who is feared should not be hated. Because hatred is personal, and a wise prince avoids personal enemies. But fear, when properly managed, generates order. It creates silence, and silence is the soil in which power grows. When you are feared, people think before they speak. When you are feared, they contemplate betrayal even before it begins. When you are feared, they follow you, even if they disagree, because the cost of disobedience outweighs the comfort of defiance. Now ask yourself, do people think twice before crossing your path? Or do they count on your forgiveness before they have even sinned? Those who are loved are expected to understand, to be gentle, to forgive. And over time, the love you have earned becomes the very leash that chokes your power. You become a leader who apologizes to your followers, a father who cannot manage his family, a king who begs his people not to revolt. You become a dog again, a charming, smiling creature wagging its tail, while the wolf watches you closely, waiting for your kindness to become your grave. Fear does not mean rage. It does not mean violence. It means respect and enforced consequences. It means that you are not to be trifled with. It means that your word is law, not a suggestion. They do not have to love you. They do not even have to speak well of you. But they must never forget what will happen if they go against you. Because in the world of power, loyalty based on fear lasts longer than love. Love fades under pressure. Fear sharpens in its presence. Love bends under trials. Fear holds the line. When you lead through fear, you no longer chase loyalty. Loyalty chases after you. They say that growth is beautiful. They say that transformation is inspiring. But Machiavelli knew the truth. Transformation is war, not with the world, but with yourself. You cannot step into power while remaining in your old skin. You cannot walk the path of the wolf while dragging the corpse of your former self. If you want to rise, if you want to become untouchable, if you want to command rather than plead, you will have to kill something inside yourself. And that death is never clean. You will have to kill your need for approval, destroy your dependence on comfort, shatter your illusions of justice, burn the emotional attachments that made you weak. It does not matter how loyal you are. It does not matter how good your intentions are. If you walk into a room full of wolves with a heart that still beats like a dog's, they will sense it, and they will tear you apart. If you want to evolve, then you must learn to let go. Not everything can go with you. Not every person, not every habit, not every belief. Transformation does not ask for your permission. She does not care how you feel. She does not wait for you to be ready. She comes to you in moments of betrayal, in moments of loss, in moments when the mask of kindness is torn from your face, and you are left face to face with the raw, unfiltered reality of power. It is there that true change begins. Not in books, not in speeches, not in moments of inspiration. Change begins when something dies inside you, and you allow it to happen. When you stop trying to be loved, when you stop justifying yourself, when you stop expecting people to be who they pretend to be. This is where most men fail. They only begin the journey. They talk about strength, post quotes, fantasize about control, but when the time comes to sever ties, they hesitate. When the time comes to speak the truth, they fall silent. When the time comes to say no, they smile and say yes. Because within them still lives submission, because change is only external, it is impossible to pretend to be a wolf. The world knows the difference. A man who has changed does not ask for respect. He commands it. Not with words, not with threats, but with his presence. It is felt. When you see how he moves, how he looks, how he does not hesitate, does not falter, does not beg. He has done the work. He has buried his weakness. And it has cost him more than anyone can imagine. The people you once laughed with will become silent next to you. Those who once used you will avoid you because they know. They see it in your eyes. The softness is gone, but this transformation has its price. You will have to walk alone for a while. You will not be understood. You will be accused of coldness, of arrogance, of being heartless, and perhaps you have become that way. But Machiavelli would say that this is the price for true power. A man who is fully transformed does not crave peace. He builds it himself. He does not run from conflict. He uses it. He does not break under pressure. He sharpens under it. You can stay where it is warm, where it is comfortable, where people praise you for being compliant, but do not confuse comfort with respect. Do not accept approval and influence. Transformation means becoming someone who no longer needs understanding. It means killing that version of yourself that thought life was fair, that believed loyalty was eternal, that waited for others to give her permission to rise. It means stepping into the arena on your feet, with weapons in hand, ready to lose everything except your will. Because only through this relentless fire can the wolf be born. You were not born to be compliant. You were not born to be soft, broken, obedient, or endlessly forgiving. You were born into a world where weakness is punished, where naivety is used as a weapon, and where those who refuse to bite become prey for those who do. Weakness in you seeks peace, but a world without power is slavery. Weakness in you craves love, but love without power is manipulation. Weakness within you believes that loyalty will be returned, but loyalty without leverage is suicide. Machiavelli did not write for those who want to be good. He wrote for those who want to survive, for those who want to win, for those who understand that this world does not crown the good. It crowns the cunning, the cold, and the dangerous. To rise, you must cut off everything that makes you dependent. You must be ready to walk alone, to be someone who is feared more than loved. Show kindness only when it aligns with your plan. You will become the one who decides when to strike and when to disappear. Inside you lives a wolf, hungry, silent, waiting. Get rid of the dog within you and let the wolf rule.